All right, so we are checking out two Antigua Alto Saxophones here. Right here we have a vintage lacquer ProOne model. This is the Power Bell model in black nickel. And we'll talk about some of the key similarities and some of the differences between the two models. And then we'll give them a playtest. Okay, so once again, two Antigua Alto Saxophones here. Black nickel Power Bell, vintage lacquer ProOne. Very similar key layouts, both have great intonation. Obviously the biggest difference between the two is black nickel, vintage lacquer. If anything, to me, black nickel horns have a little bit darker sound, but it's very subjective, and it's really much more about the individual player and his or her reed mouthpiece combination that is going to determine what your tone is like, whether it's bright or dark. The finish doesn't have nearly as much to do with that. So it's really just more of a personal preference. Let's talk about some of the differences. The Power Bell, that is, has a bit larger bell, a little bit more of a larger bell flare. Tends to spread the sound just a bit more. Again, not a drastic difference between these two in terms of that, though. The ProOne has these Trident key arms. So there's 3 key arms here that add a little bit extra stability, keep the tone hole from fluttering. But that's not really an issue with the Power Bell either, as you have double key arms, and that stabilizes those keys very well too. Let's talk about some of the extra features that are on the ProOne. One of the coolest one is actually this anti-stick G-sharp mechanism. It basically means that your G-sharp will never stick, and that's pretty cool. It also has rolled tone holes. Actually, technically they are ringed tone holes that are soldered on, generally referred to as rolled tone holes, on the bottom 5 keys, the low B flat, the low B, the C sharp, the C, and the E flat. Also has an additional arm here on the F, which gives you another way to make this adjustment. This is one of the common areas on saxophones that tends to get out of adjustment, and that just gives you another option to be able to keep that in line. All right, so here's the Power Bell Alto in its case. Just a basic plastic saxophone case, but super protective. Definitely gets the job done. No problems with these whatsoever. And here is the ProOne in its case. Also very protective of the horn. It's a contoured case. Cool thing on this case is it has a nice pocket on the side for accessories, actually 2 pockets. And it also has backpack straps, which are actually, pretty cool for portability, both for students and for professional, especially if you're going into a gig. It just kind of frees up your hands to carry in additional equipment. So both great cases, get the job done. And that's essentially the differences and the similarities between the two. And what we'll do is I'll play them with no backing tracks, no effects, no reverb, no extra EQ, no compression, just so you can hear the raw sound of each individual saxophone. And then I'll play them with a few backing tracks with a little bit of reverb so you can hear them in that setting.